What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. Hey, everybody, come on in, come on in. Sorry that I was late. I had my dog who is still in my living room right now. So if you hear noises, that's him. He was causing some problems earlier, but welcome to the chat, everyone. We are talking Chris and Nell Fletcher. These two have really made a splash, okay? You guys have been in my chat sharing stuff on the Facebook group, sharing stuff. So I figured this conversation needs to continue. Welcome, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I see Miss Tina and Linda Gamble are in the chat. Those are mods today. Anyone that you actually see with a purple wrench behind their name, they are here to make sure that you have a good time in the chat. Everybody's minding their P's and Q's. You are welcome to have an opinion because, listen, I understand that this subject has triggered a couple of folks. I won't even say triggered, but sometimes, you know, family is what gets us, right? So we had an opportunity to watch a very real situation with a family on a reality TV show. They gave us just a few minutes of their family dynamic, and it was definitely a hit. They are definitely a couple and a family that people would like to see more of, but it definitely also triggered a lot of emotions for people who might have similar situations, or I won't even say similar situations. There were things that were happening with some of the family members that reminded people of things that may be happening in their family or someone that they know. And so they had a lot to say. Y'all had a lot to say. Some of you actually even was, you know, you need to do this and, you know, saying that to me. You need to make sure you know what you're talking about and you don't know what it's like. And I was like, wait a minute. I just tried to give a perspective of everyone. I thought I gave a very fair perspective, actually. But we're going to talk about it here. We're going to talk about a little bit more of my review, which was superb, by the way. More people should have watched that doggone review. Let me post the thumbnail so you guys can get into it. Let's see. Here we go. This is a review right here, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bonus Mom Blues, okay? Y'all know, if you watched this episode, you would have saw a whole lot going on. But let me take I'm sitting in a different location today, make sure that the lighting is all right. Anyways, welcome to my chat. DYANAROZAY, you know, I give a unique commentary on everything that's happened in social media, pop culture, and reality TV. So we're going to talk about this now. Let me see. I saw a couple of people putting their cities in the chat. Hey, everyone, come on in. Hit the like button on your way in. 146 of you are watching. So go ahead and hit that like button, okay? Let's see, Diana, that is the hazard of social media. You're doing great. Listen, I know. I let y'all talk. I didn't have a whole lot to say back to you. I let y'all talk unless it got super personal, and then I would just say, I just try to give you a fair commentary in perspective. I let you say whatever you wanted to say, though, because I understand. I asked for your opinions, and your opinions have been super strong. So now I just want to see if you had more to say, because when I had the open panel, nobody came up to talk about it. So New Orleans, what is up? Georgia, ATL, what is up? Camden, New Jersey, what is up? I think I saw someone else. So anyway, you get a chance to say what you feel. That's your perspective as well. Okay. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the viewers' responses to the family. We're also going to talk about the interview that Carlos King did on Saturday night following the episode. He actually posted video of his interview with the Fletchers, and they gave a little bit more insight onto a lot of things. The friendship with Melody and Martell, the children. They talked a little bit about, you know, Chris and her and Chris, the troubles they went through. So yeah, we're going to talk about everything. See, my eyelash looks a little funky. Please excuse it, okay, if it doesn't look okay. But let's see. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the channel for sure. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. I hope that more of you will give some opinions today. I'm going to give you the opinion that seemed to have been the majority of you. A lot of you felt like Lexi was too much. A lot of you felt that Lexi was the problem with the family. That seemed to have been the majority of comments. What else did you say? You didn't like that Lexi like made threats when she said, "I'll burn the house down." Some people were like, I didn't like that she told Nell to kiss her behind. That was one thing that people found to be very upsetting as well. I don't know who she thought she was. Of course, the family is going to get upset and come at her if that's what she's doing. So a lot of you in the comments were separating Lexi from the family, which is exactly what Lexi was saying. I feel separate from this family. When if she felt if she was a part of the family and she was saying those things, you guys probably would have had a little bit different um, comments, in my opinion. I think so. And again, you guys can come up and tell me I'm wrong. I'm totally okay with that. The reason why this is good conversation, a topic, is because everyone gets to come up, or anybody can, share their opinion. You have a right to share your opinion. Um, Riley said, personally, I felt like people need to leave Lexi's mother out of it because even the Fletchers haven't brought her up. They haven't blamed that woman. Okay. I didn't mention her. There is a scene that I think the Fletchers were on twice, at the very beginning and then at the end. And they said, we don't know what she was told. That was one of the things the Fletchers, I think Nell said. We don't know what she was told. And I want to say she still didn't say anything about her mom per se. I mean, clearly they were raised in two households. But when I remember, if y'all remember in the previous episode, not the one that aired Saturday night, but the one before that, when they discuss the family, when it opens up, Nell, I think maybe the producer said, you're a blended family. And Nell is the one to clarify, we are not blended. She said, I came with a very young child to the relationship with Chris, and he came with a young child to the relationship with me. But these kids grew up together. We're not blended at all. We are a family. And I don't even like the term blended family. I believe that these children, I am the mother of all these children, and Chris is the father of the children. That's all they know. That was how that conversation started. Oh, okay. Hey, okay. She said, not you, Diana. I didn't think you were talking about me. I knew what you were saying, and I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you that a lot of people, y'all put a whole bunch of information in there that I didn't hear talked about. When people were like, well, she was getting child support and she should have did this with the child support. I was like, damn, when did she get child support? Y'all cracked me up. I was like, whoa, baby, she got child support and she was supposed to do this with the child support. Y'all had this whole family down pat. At one point I was like, who's over here? Is this the Fletchers? Is this Lexi's mama in the chat? What is going on? Y'all have put so much on, like, extra information into their family situation. I was like, these things weren't even talked about yet. I mean, they maybe will be talked about later, but they hadn't been talked about yet. But y'all had a whole lot of stuff. There was a lady in the Facebook group. People did have strong feelings and emotions, child. I ain't gonna lie. Me and my sister were looking at her like that phone was dinging. We kept going, whoa, did we say that? Did we say that? It was hilarious. But anyway, I appreciated everybody who came in to talk, because it's important. This is exactly, if reality TV is done right, this is what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to be getting someone else's testimony, insight into a situation or a family. And the reason why you guys had strong feelings about it is because it did what it was supposed to do. You are supposed to watch something and feel something for someone that is not you. And some of you, there was people who were very, very, what's the word I want to say? Sympathetic, empathetic to Lexi as well. Let's see. Cut and Paste said, I was thinking when Lexi said, I'll burn this house down, was the same way that Marceau meant it. Meaning she'd air everyone's business out. Oh, okay, so you didn't think she was referring to it literally. Well, if you watch the review, I said it was my sister who said it shocked her when she said, I'll burn the house down. And I said, he didn't react to that. He didn't, he, meaning her father, when he was talking to her and trying to get her to say, this is your perception. This is your perception. He didn't actually react to that part of it. He did react when she said, you've never been there for me. That was something that hurt him to the point of where he was like, get the fuck on, get the fuck on. And then he pointed down the road and I was like, oh Lord, help, 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 help. That is not good. That's not good for anybody. But daughters are especially broken when their dads, if they have that moment with their dad, that would be a moment that would break you. I did actually think that she meant it literally. I thought that she was saying, listen, this house is a symbol of what I didn't experience, what I didn't have. So yeah, that was my opinion. Diana, we share some of the same views regarding the family dynamics of the Fletchers. Great job. Lexi did have very strong emotions because it was her feelings and her perspective. Correct. I said that. I agree. I did say that. I was like, when he was saying that's your perspective, I was like, she is not going to have any other perspective but her own. And this is where you come together to explain things so that, if therapy is needed, you can explain things so that she can see your side of it. You can also see her side of it. But anyway, I'm like jumping all the way in. We're going to get into it. Right now, I have 246 of you joining me this Thanksgiving week, this afternoon. So if y'all could hit that like button, please, I'd appreciate it. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all of it. So I want to start with your views, which I kind of did already, but I really want to start from the beginning with your views so that we can get into why you guys felt the way you felt. And then I had also taken some notes for Carlos King's interview with the Fletchers, and we're going to play that too. Okay. So what I said was at the beginning, it was Nell who set the tone and saying, we're not a blended family. These are our children. I don't see Lexi any different from the way I see my own blood-born children. That is what she was saying, in my opinion. And we can tell that Chris and Lance, which was Nell's child from another relationship, those two have the exact same mannerisms. If you was paying attention to Lance, how he had his hand on his temple, his finger on his temple when he was talking to Lexi, he was doing all the things that we have seen Chris do on the show. I was like, damn, he even speaks like him. He has the same cadence as Chris. So clearly, and he grew up in the house with Chris, so he's going to watch Chris and as his father and emulate some of the things he did. That's normal. That's what we do, right? As children, we have some of the same mannerisms, some of the same things as our own parents. Let's see. These comments are going up so fast, y'all. I apologize. I'm trying to keep a hold of everything that you're saying. Oftentimes, the custodial parent can influence a child's mindset. At that time, she is not going to be receptive to any conversation because it's easier for her to be a victim. Okay, so we're getting into that because this is a problem that I won't even say it's a problem. Nick said, not a problem. A lot of you were blaming the parent, Lexi's birth mother, without having a whole lot of insight on those conversations. You were just saying, listen, this feels very much like the birth mother's problem. Like she may have interfered with this. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of you were saying, how much money was Chris giving her for child support? So you were under the assumption because they lived a certain way that Chris was definitely breaking the mama off enough change so that she could live that way. We don't know that for sure. It was never, ever discussed. These are just things that people were putting on this. Okay. We were talking about exactly because Lance lived in the house. They were talking about the family in that moment. What started this whole conversation, right? Nell is there and she's asking the children, tell me what's going on. When they walked in that house, she says to her niece, why didn't you tell me that you lost your job? And she said, because I didn't want to hear your mouth. I didn't want to hear your mouth. This is the second time that she's lost her job in whatever amount of time, but she told it to her uncle. She told it to Uncle Chris, didn't tell it to her. And she knows that Chris is going to tell his wife. So let's put that out there. You told your uncle, knowing your uncle's going to tell his wife, right? And what Nell says is, I help you. I help this child when she is not in a good place. I help her financially. She gave her a job. So we know that the niece benefits from what's going on in the house. And even though Nell has said, you guys are all entitled. You all feel entitled to my wealth, the things I have, and I give them to you because your father does not. She said that. Your father doesn't. I do. You couldn't go to your father for this money. And if you did go to him, you are paying him back the next damn day. I'm on a payment plan though. Okay. She's letting everybody, the viewing audience, know not only is she the person that everybody comes to for the money, they don't even try to pay her back. It's not even expected. Mama's money is just money we gonna fool with, whether it's the bloodborne children or the niece. They're taking advantage of her. She also says that Chris have said, don't do these things for them. Cut them off. Don't buy them expensive cars, right? When she said, when I bought y'all the cars, the Charger, the BMW, the what else was it, Clone? The Charger, the BMW, the Mercedes. She said, when I bought you those things, your daddy told me not to. Now, there was comments like, well, Chris and her bought these cars. She was real clear that she bought the cars. And one of the things I was saying in my review is if she bought her children cars, is Lexi entitled to a car? Because Lexi felt left out. Why did they get cars? Because she's watching them as a household. She's watching them as a family. When she was 17, she got a BMW. When he was 16, he got a Charger. Where's my car? Now, when I said that, there was a comment, and I said some kind of way, it was Nell's money. Nell was like, well, I gave everybody else something. Here's $22K, right? She said, I gave it to her. She didn't say we at all. She said, Lexi, I gave you $22,000. Lies, okay, we're gonna get to it now. Thank you. More lies said Chris should have made sure she got one. When I said that Chris was on mute doing the Beyonce challenge and winning, nobody liked that too much. I said Chris won the Beyonce challenge because when she was asking, when she did the quote fingers and said, I'm your so-called daughter. You're giving everybody something and I'm your so-called daughter. And then the niece made sure to say, don't put your finger over here. She didn't get me a car. She's benefiting from the stuff, but she didn't get the car. And she made sure to say that. She bought cars for her, the children in the house. Now, I'm telling y'all was missing them context clues. Like she was saying what was going on, but people was getting all upset with me. I'm telling you what I saw. Okay. Uh-oh, somebody's being told to be careful. Oh, Linda, I was tripping over the sofa. Okay. Not a problem. I thought somebody was saying something in the comments like, be careful with what you're saying. But yeah, Chris was not talking during this time. It felt like, to me, Nell was saying, I realized that she was hurt. And so in order to help her, I gave her $22K. Just here, let me write a check. Boom, $22K. Do you all know what that takes to just write a check to somebody for $22,000 as a gift? Here's a gift to you. She didn't give it to her to buy a car. She gave it to her as a gift. And then after giving her that money, she wrecked her other car, but she still felt entitled to them buying her a car. And that was the argument. That's why they're like, Lexi, we gave you money though, and then you use the money to buy a car. It's how she's perceiving it. And when I said that in the review, I said, Lexi is as entitled to those things that she see them have as the kids in the household. And my sister said, exactly. In her mind, she thinks I should have what they have. Even the niece, Kiki, says that at the end. She said, I wanted to smack the shit out of her because she thinks that what she sees here belongs to her. And that's when you hear Nell say, she's not over it. She's not over it. So whatever they've tried to do to help her, whatever they tried to do to get over this hump, because she said they have been working on their relationship, She just shook her head and said she's not over it yet. She's not over it yet. Did y'all see that part? She's not over it yet. Okay. It wasn't glossed over by me. Okay. Someone said that was glossed over. It was not glossed over by me. Maybe you're saying that Lexi glossed over it. Well, the argument, some kind of way, they attempted to mend the situation. It sounds like they were trying to get back in better footing as a family with each other. But there was also a part where she's saying, I felt left out, and she started explaining those things. And hold on one second. I need something to drink. 1 second. Okay. Let's see. You're right. You're right. Nell wrote a check for 22. Like how Lexi trying to ignore that. I don't think she tried to ignore it. She acknowledged she's received the 22. What she was saying is, I didn't get the gift of a car like the other children got the gift of a car. When she says I got the 22, she's like, well, shit. You give everybody else money though. That, like, you just was arguing about giving him 11,000 or spending 11,000 on him. So why am I only getting the 22? Why don't I have the 22 plus the car? Is what it sounds like she was saying. So that's how I understood it when she was having that conversation. She was like, and they still got the car though. You're not inviting me on vacations. You're not doing that. And they were all saying, you most certainly have. You most certainly have been invited on the vacations. She was like, when am I been doing that? And then they didn't give her examples, which I hate that either the way it was edited, it didn't happen that way. Even though the conversation really did sound cohesive, but they didn't give those examples. But when she says, you were on the beach, I saw, she said, you went on a beach vacation. That's how she put it. I made the comment. I just added that. The Facebook thing, that was me ad-libbing. I will do that sometimes. They didn't say it on the show, but I made the comment. She must have saw it on Facebook, because how else would she have known that all of these people were on the beach? Okay. Maybe that's where she saw it. That's what I said. Nell is clear in clarifying that was a employee appreciation. But she said, so you remember to invite your employees, but you didn't remember to invite your so-called daughter, because now she's calling her a liar. So the family absolutely was there. You remember to invite your employees. You didn't invite me. And then you hear Shayla, the other daughter, say, we tried to call you and apologize. Did y'all hear that? We tried to call you and apologize, but you blocked us. She says, I blocked you because you refused to acknowledge you did something wrong. And now you're making me wrong for blocking you because you want to acknowledge it now. That is what she said. Y'all missed all of that part for some odd reason. Let's see. Allegedly, Chris was struggling and Nell paid off his back child support. Okay. Now, that was the other thing I said. I said it sounded like somewhere in a relationship, Nell may be making a bag. Okay. I'm not saying they ain't making a bag together, but Nell is definitely making a bag if she can just write checks. If she can just be like, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. That's making a bag. And the dad is not helping out in any of this. This is your expense. This is what you choose to do. That is a bag. Okay. She was like, I might be rich. I might have some money, but I could be wealthy. I wouldn't have to work if I didn't have to pay for the shit I pay for you guys. Okay. Let's see. Cover Jewel says, it's unfortunate, but the children who are raised in the home will get the benefit. Yes, of course. Of course. That's really the subject, right? That we understand when the children are in the home, they're going to experience a different life than the one outside. Now it's about time that, even though they're adults, it's just time that they come together and have those conversations so that they can start experiencing life and family together. But right now, she just feels like she's out of it. Let's see. Diana, I think it's just one situation about the apologies or the blocking. I think it's just one situation about apologies. Ciao. one situation about apologies. The blocking, I think, is an ongoing thing with them. And it could be. It could be an ongoing situation. I'm only talking about what they discussed at the table. We can all add to this, but that's not what was discussed. We can say that Chris made sure that girl had enough child support to live next door to Oprah Winfrey, but that's not what was discussed. Okay? We're gonna share. Again, we come from our own perspectives, of course. And it is very possible everything you guys are saying is true. But I was literally just saying it for me. In my review, I said there's probably shared fault on both sides. There's probably shared fault on both sides. And at this point, they would need to go to therapy in order to work that out, which they both agreed, both Nell and Chris Fletcher agreed to do at the end. Let's see. They just needed to meet Lexi and help her. Hold on, child. What is this? They just needed to meet Lexi where she is stuck and help her over her bumps and patiently validating her, giving her the experience now. Okay. She just wants to feel wanted and shown, like how Nell shows it. I would say that that may be accurate. I think that she wanted to be acknowledged in that regard. And I feel that when Nell said she still isn't over it, she's not over it yet. She's not over it yet. That was her basically saying there was something that happened that she isn't over. There is something that happened that we've tried to apologize for, and she isn't over. When Shayla actually says those words, we tried to apologize, you wouldn't accept it. That lets me know that there's fault on both sides. Chris didn't say a thing, not a one, not a two, not a thing. When he goes out to the car and Lexi is saying, you weren't there for me. And he said, listen, when there were some times when you were younger that I wasn't there. I admit to that. But when she says all the way up until I was 28, now that's where you're lying. Okay, that's where you're lying. That didn't happen. But that's her perception in her mind. It is her perception, 100%. And again, we have to see how that plays out, if it plays out, right? When Nell did the interview with Carlos King, she said that is still a problem, that set them back. And she said some other things too that was very telling. I want to talk about that in just a second, but I still want to get some more of your comments, okay? Let's see. I don't even know if you guys would like to come up and talk about this. I'll drop the link just in case, but let's see. Lexi was very disrespectful. I don't care how hurt she is. A disassociated perception. At the end of the day, it's their family, though. When people were like, she cussed, they all cussed. Then before Lexi opened her mouth, they were all in some regard disrespectful at that point. Like they all lean on that family. They all lean on the parents. When Lexi was saying, I don't ask y'all for nothing. I don't see y'all. She doesn't even feel entitled enough to ask, but she doesn't feel like she should ask or can ask, but she does feel entitled to having some of the things. That's clear. When Nell gave her that $22,000, she didn't say, I didn't want it. She took it. She got into a car accident. She bought another car. But this is what Chris and Nell actually said. We gave you $22,000. She said, do you not remember me getting into a car accident? And they went, but you did get a car. Don't act like you didn't get a car. Lexi's point was, I spent the $22,000 that was supposed to be a gift for me on another car when they were just purchased a car outright. So she feels like they dropped the ball with getting her a car. And we don't know how old she was. The age gaps would be important, but it doesn't matter because you can be in your 80s and still remember something that happened to you when you were a child and have that memory take you back to that place. You'll become like a child in your experience. Everyone had an attitude, but no one was nearly as disrespectful as Lexi. I think that everybody probably speaks like that at one time or another. We just didn't see that on TV. If they were sitting at the table saying, bitch, to their sister, block me again, bitch. I wanted to smack her. I wanted to smack her ass, bitch. Any of that means they talk to each other like that, period. I don't care. Again, you can tell how free they were in doing it in front of the parents. So we're accusing one, but they all do it. They all do it on some level, period. I know that for a fact. You would never say those things unless it was okay all the time. That wasn't a one-off. Wasn't a one-off, child. Hey, everyone, keep coming on in. 400 of you are watching. Let's see how many hit that like button, though. Let me see. Only 200? Do I have to turn into Lexi in this piece? Hit the like button. Hit it. Hit the like button, okay? All right. Anyway, let's see. Yes, I think that because we didn't see it, we are absolutely giving the other kids this pass, and it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. That's everybody, including Nell, who literally started the entire energy at the table when she said, Lexi, shut the hell up. Lexi, shut the hell up. She's talking to her son. She screams that. Chris looks at her like, what are you doing? Everybody else is like, oh no. And Lexi is in a shock. Like, whoa, whoa. She looks to her father and he gave her nothing. He gave her nothing. Okay. Now, and I'm saying all that to say this is not to make anybody wrong. This just happens to be their family dynamics. I don't care what Nell said. I love how she handles herself and her family. I think that Nell is very much a mature thinker, meaning that she says and does what she wants to say and do. Anytime, all the time, every time. Okay. She does not apologize for her shit. I've lived some things. I am the breadwinner here. I am coming to this table as a person who I know what I do for y'all. So I'm not going to pretend to be cutesy here for you and your feelings. I'm telling you how I feel. And she says that to her husband when he comes to the daycare. She said, listen, I'm not apologizing for that. I don't care. When he says, well, they come to me because you have a way, you have an energy. She said, I don't care. I'm not saying that I don't care. I'm not going to bite my tongue for these damn kids. They ain't where they supposed to be in life. Okay. Come on in. Welcome everybody. Come on in. 442 are watching. Please hit the like button on the way in. I should have asked y'all to be subscribers before y'all started over here, but let me actually do that now anyway. How about that? I'm going to push this down. And then what did you say? How many people watched it? I don't know. Let's see. Let's do a poll real quick, y'all, just to see how many people watched the actual show. Because sometimes y'all just watch the review. You don't watch the show. And then you'll like just kind of comment on my review. And y'all will post my review and other people's stuff because I see it. Trust me. I'd be like, you took that right off my page, child. And I know because, like I said, I will ad lib the review and I will add extra stuff in it. And y'all will take the extra stuff that I put in there and take it to other places like it actually happened like that. I'm like, no, that was me being funny on my channel. Anyway, hold on. Let me put this up just because I'm giving y'all a quality review here, and I want to make sure that y'all respect it and appreciate it, okay? So I would like subscribers, please. Okay. So it says that you got to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes, and then y'all can come up here and talk on the chat. Y'all can talk in the chat or talk on the channel, on the panel. So I see people saying drop the link because they need to say what they got to say, child. So let me bring y'all up. Let me bring y'all up without further ado. Okay. Let's see. Keep hitting the like button, please. Come. Okay, I'm about to put this up here. Join panel. Join panel, please. Here you go. And I'm going to pin that. So if you'd like to come up and chit chat for a little bit. Now I am going to play devil's advocate with you because I know that some of this, again, may be your experience or feelings, but I also want to say that they did take some accountability on the show. So her feelings aren't just completely out there. And again, okay, let's see who's over here, child, because I feel like people are going to try to come up here and attack me. Okay. Hi, Ty. Happy Thanksgiving.
Who are you talking about? You was talking about me?
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you. You was talking about me?
No, I'm just saying. No, you didn't attack me. Listen.
Okay.
There was a couple of people that let me have it in my own comments. So I was like, oh, damn, maybe I should just make sure y'all get it out so y'all can come back up here and talk about it. That's why I want to hold this today. So yes, Courtney, you have an Android. I just want to let you know because apparently they have not fixed the Android problem. Okay, so I'm gonna have everybody mute, and then Courtney, I'm gonna let you speak, and I'm gonna stop talking because apparently there's an echo that happens. So we're gonna go in order: Ty first, then Lady D's, then Tanya, then Courtney. Okay.
Okay, so how you doing?
I'm awesome.
That's
how about
good.
you?
I'm doing well. Y'all cooking already?
Child, yes, we got Huh?
Oh, that wasn't me. I don't know who that was.
Okay.
Okay, so hi to everybody that I didn't get a chance to speak to down in the chat, the panel and everything. I want to say one of who was that? Pacino Rules. I try to remember their names now. I agree when they said that it was only one family scene. I think it was just one scene, right?
What?
For the Fletchers.
For the Fletchers, yeah, they had two scenes. So they had two scenes in the previous episode, two scenes this particular one. But it basically, the first scene was them in a continuation of the family, and then the second scene was
Well, I'm speaking about with all the kids, and in that short time, well, the continuation, we got a little bit, and like you said, I think that was in the last video. We need more information.
We do,
right?
For
we
sure.
need more information to figure out, because I seen some other people in the comments that was saying things like, or maybe this was on your page. We don't know what kind of information Lexi mama gave her. You know what I'm saying? About Nell or Chris or whatever. The picture that you posted of Nell, Chris, and Lexi, she was pretty old on that picture.
Yes. Let me post it again.
She was pretty old on that picture.
She looks to be like
you think she's 28 right there?
I can't say. I
don't think she will be 28 right there.
The child, the one in the middle right there, I think that is Shayla, because I had to keep going back and forth between those photos and the little girl at the table. She's not a little girl. My apologies. I call anybody younger than me little girl. Okay. But anyway, she that's Shayla that's standing there, and she appears to be very little, right? She
maybe
maybe 9
early
or 12. I agree. And then so I would say that the one that may have been affected the most, well, I'll say this. Let me play a clip for y'all. Let me play. It's a baby. Okay, so let me play a clip from y'all. This is from Carlos King's interview, okay? Let me put that up. Okay, let me get the time stamp where she had this conversation. 13. Okay, hopefully a commercial doesn't play, but if it does, bear with me, y'all. Okay, I actually went through and was looking at all the stuff to make sure that we can bring more to this conversation. And if the Fletchers are watching, this is not a bash against y'all. We love y'all. We think y'all did a great job. I think that their family is very much like families I know and grew up in myself. Okay. it's interesting to see this play out on TV because we don't, as Black people, always get to see a real version of things that are going on at our own table. So I am appreciative of them bringing their story to the show. Let's
I agree.
start with that and end with that.
The highest art.
All right. It did give me a dang on commercial.
That dog on YouTube.
I know. So hold on, y'all.
Hi, Sloan.
Cologne, she said hi.
Hi.
She's
Did you hear me call her Sloan like Sloan Bella?
I heard you say
I
slow.
need to stop.
It's clone. She's clone.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
People they were like, where did her name originate from? They call her clone because they said she and I look alike. She's younger than me, so they called her clone. It just stuck. Okay, here we go.
And that affects your kids. It's not always just about you. I was looking at the hurt of the kids, our children together, because we did separate for almost right at 2 years. That was separation.
Separate homes and everything.
That was hard for Lexi, and that's some of the things she deals with. She would call me and ask for her dad, and it was kind of hard for me to tell her dad wasn't there. But I did tell her mom that her dad wasn't there, and we eventually told her that her dad wasn't there. So I was trying to explain, like, everybody took a hurting from it. For me personally, I kind of just shut down from the world. I lost a lot of weight. It was a lot. It was.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. So I wanted to play that clip because I don't know if y'all saw what I saw. That was a very telling moment when she says, it was really hard on Lexi when they did that separation for 2 years. He was living in a different household. Nell is clearly where she is with her children. She said Lexi was calling the house for her dad, and I had a hard time. This is what Nell is saying. I had a hard time telling her that her dad wasn't there, but I told her mom. Now, Chris didn't say anything. Whose responsibility was it to let Lexi know that her dad wasn't at home? Her dad wasn't in that home.
But it sounded like Lexi wasn't in that home either.
She wasn't. But if I'm a child, I don't know when the separation happened. Mm-hmm. But let's say I'm 9 years old. You're 9 years old. You know that when you call this house, you can talk to your dad Monday through Sunday, any time of day. Mm-hmm. Now he's not there for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. It was Chris. It was Chris' responsibility to get to her and tell her those things. However, when Nell did tell her mother, mm-hmm. her mother she said they told her together. So
I felt like dropping that on your mama isn't. I don't know. I'm gonna just say I don't know what Lexi's experience was, because Lexi has to tell her story. Again, we are all just mm-hmm. talking about the show, even though this is real people's lives. If I am on the outside looking in and you tell me that you split, I don't know how to tell my daughter that either. I don't know what Lexi was going through. I would want to know why the hell Chris isn't telling her what's going on. There's clearly bigger problems. The split definitely hurt them. I know it was an infidelity, but there was something much greater than that. Mm-hmm. Where she is saying Chris didn't even tell, and Chris didn't even chime in the interview and say, I wasn't there, I should have did XYZ. Nell is literally, she's everything for this family.
The true matriarch of everything.
She is everything for this family. The fact that she felt like I gotta tell, she's going through a deep, dark depression herself because of the stuff her and her husband are going through. She's trying to be a mother to the 3 that are in the home. And then she still has to figure out how to, it's too much.
That's right. Chris dropped the ball on that.
Okay.
I don't know. Because we only just got a little bit. We haven't really
a little bit.
right. We haven't dug into
That's
the and he did not say nothing. And you know, I don't know what their dynamics is. It's almost like he bring the money home and she run the house pretty much almost.
I'm telling you, listen, even when she said this is the problem. Everybody was saying to me, attacking me. Chris is the breadwinner. I didn't say the man don't make good money. What I'm saying is we ain't gonna ignore that Nell has some extra money.
But wait a minute, Diana.
Yes.
How do they know if Chris is the actual breadwinner?
They don't.
Nell could make more than him.
When I said I'm getting the feeling that Nell may make even more money, people were like, how the hell is that a possibility? And I was like, y'all ain't paying attention to how she's talking at this table. You're not paying attention to how mute this man is at this table.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even getting up to say to Lexi, listen, child,
Mm-hmm.
let's step aside. He's allowing this to happen. When she said, I wrote you a check, she meant that shit. She wrote the check.
That's right.
When she said, I bought the cars, that's what she meant. This girl's hurt that she didn't get a car when she said, I'm your so-called daughter. What? Are y'all paying attention? That's the dynamic.
Okay, so when I had said earlier about Lexi, you know, disassociate, you know, sometimes when they're little, they only remember like some real bad things. They don't remember the first day at school, the first time they went on a family outing. You know, they only remember the negative stuff and hold on to that and bring that into adulthood. It's some unresolved feelings with Lexi against Nell. And like let me tell you something. I understood what you said when you said everybody was at the table cursing. And that was true. They all adults, they was cursing, but ain't nobody cursed Nell out. Nobody threatened Nell.
We didn't see it, but I get the impression that they're not always as respectful to Nell either. Like, I think that at the end of the day, just because we could see Nell pop off that and say, Lexi, shut the hell up. I think that can happen all the time with that's just their interaction with the family. Because
I might have to see, because I can't see none of them other children talking about, I'll burn this mother effer down. I can't see that. Lexi, on the other hand, I can see she got some unresolved feelings, like for real. But we only saw a little bit. I really hope we get a chance to see like some more stuff. I want to see them go to family counseling so we could see what really, you know, is going on, what really happened back then, and why Lexi's so upset, and why she's so upset with Nell. Because number one, Nell is not her biological mother, and I'm quite sure she have done. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because I don't know, but I know she's done a lot for Lexi.
Okay. I think she probably does have an issue with it because, like she said, I am your so-called daughter. Those quotes said everything. When she did this, and then Nell came back and said, my so-called daughter acts like an asshole. My so-called daughter. Like, Nell is cursing at her too. Like, y'all not all about that. She feels a way. She's not a child anymore. She grown.
Right.
You're yelling at her across the table. You started the yelling. She started the yelling. Whether you guys agree with her or not, she started it. Nell started it. And then the girl got upset and she started walking out. On her way out the door, she was saying, you guys are assholes. But she had already been called an asshole.
But back up.
I forgot that.
Back up. Lexi came in there with a little attitude.
Okay. You don't have to like her.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm not saying that she might not provoke people. I get that. What I am saying is y'all gotta give everybody their piece.
You're right, but I don't say nothing when you call my favorite son-in-law no shaggy do. I don't say nothing about that. So don't be over here trying to chastise me.
Listen. I call that boy Shaggy Doo in love, okay?
Yeah, all right.
It's a spirit of love, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You taking
all right, Diana. Let me listen. listen, I'm gonna go because I know these other people want to talk and I want to see what they got to say. And
Okay.
I'm gonna be on mute over here like the Beyonce challenge, like Chris Fletcher.
Very good. All right, we get
All
into
right.
we get into it. All right, let's go to Lady D's. Hey, Lady D Keys, what is up?
Hey Diana, hey panel, how you guys?
Come
Whew,
on, what you got?
child, that was a whole lot of foolery. But I love the Fletchers. I think it's they need to replace the Scots. I'm so sick of the Scots, and I'm glad they ain't been on for 2 episodes. But you
Episodes.
know,
Okay.
ugh, child. But
Mhm.
Nell did
One
start
second.
this.
Someone said, was there a scene where before Nell cursed at Lexi? No. Nell, she starts cursing at next Lexi. When she told her to shut the hell up, she cursed at her. And then she didn't like what she said. So she said, my daughter, my so-called daughter, was acting like an asshole. She called her the asshole first. Y'all got so tied up into that reaction that you forgot. Nell kind of brought it to the table. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
that's okay, girl. That's
chat.
okay. This your show, honey. This your show. You do what you want.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, when Lexi came in the house, it was already tension
Mhm.
between the two of them because Miss Nell, she sat up there and said, "Oh, uh, you lost your job? I
Mhm.
heard you ain't got no job no more. What's going on with that?" And then she said, "Yeah, I got a job, but I just didn't want to hear your mouth."
That was
So,
the niece, right?
yes.
Saying that to
Mhm.
the niece. Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
So it was like, girl, you gotta, and I know how she feels because she feels like a black sheep of the family, and it's hard when you feel like that. It's not easy because
Mhm.
I feel like that when I was younger, and I feel like that now, even though I'm a little bit older than what I was when I started. It's just like, man, come on now, y'all gotta understand that because feeling like a black sheep of the family is never easy. It's hard,
Yep.
especially when you sit up there, you got your parent calling you out your name, all kind of, sluts and all that stuff. It's hard. It's not easy. And you're a child when that happens. Like the first caller said,
Yeah.
you gotta understand that stuff does come back up in your adulthood. It don't never go away because you still got the scars and the pain and all that. That's not fun at all. And
You
I understand how she
carry,
feels.
you carry everything you ever done in your life inside of you, no matter how significant or insignificant. It stays there. That is the sum total of your life experience. It all is there.
Hmm.
Now, I just want to say this because someone said, she said, acting like an a-hole, not calling her one. I don't know.
I mean, it's still the same thing. whether you got caught
When
one
it's
or
on
not.
your ears, you don't remember the acting part, okay?
Right.
Someone said that Uppity says Nell yelled first, but that's her table, her money, her family. She's a matriarch.
Hmm.
That okay, it's her sacrifices that brought everyone together, and she can yell if she wants to. And baby, this is what Black television is, okay?
Yes.
Sunday So Black. This is exactly what we're talking about. At
Yes.
the end of the day, we have a way of thinking. I don't
Yeah.
know who you are. And when I said them kids, meaning the other children at the table, her siblings, Lexi's siblings, kicked into gear when they thought, wait a minute now, don't act like my mama didn't give you 22,000. They didn't say the words, but they jumped in
Yeah.
for the energy, like, you ain't gonna, I don't care what we say about her. You don't say it, okay?
Right.
Do that at this table. They kicked in just like that. And I don't know if y'all were paying attention, but they did 100%. 100%. And we do believe that the matriarch of the family has the right to say whatever she wants to at her table. I don't care.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think there's anybody who probably don't. Yeah, I mean, if you do feel that way, it's probably a small minority. But we grew up. Some of us grew up watching that of the family
Mhm. Mhm.
say whatever I want to say. And you might not like it when it's your turn, but when you see it go down with somebody else, you be like, she deserved all that. Okay.
Yep.
That's how
And
we.
then Lexi's husband cracked me up though, because he was sitting there like on mute. He had nothing to say. He was tapping his plate. He wanted to finish that food and he wanted to get to the dessert, honey.
They
Because
was
I'm pretty
talking
sure
about
that food was
what are you talking about? They was like,
Lexi's husband.
that picture. Let me get that picture. I don't know what y'all was looking at. That man had ate that damn food every single.
Oh
There was
yeah, he
a
did, but
bone.
he wanted the dessert and Lexi ruined that for
Oh,
him.
yeah,
She ruined that.
probably had a nice peach cobbler.
Okay.
Look at how clean that plate is.
It is, but he didn't get no dessert, poor thing. He sit there, look at his hands. He like, oh Lord, here we go again.
Yeah, he's
Oh
probably like, damn, nobody gonna bring out that cake or nothing. Like, what's happening?
he was waiting for that dessert, child. I was like, okay,
I bet you Neil had a mean German chocolate cake or red
something.
cake or peach cobbler over there. He didn't get it, and I felt sad for it because I was looking at the plate like, well, damn, everybody got something left except for him.
Right. And Les, all their kids is gorgeous, but Les is foul.
Well, they have beautiful skin. Mm-hmm.
And he reminds me of Chris, just a light-skinned version of him.
Yeah, he does. And that's her son.
Right, that part.
Mm-hmm.
And his other son, he's nice looking too, but Lance, I was like, okay, Lance, but yeah, I enjoyed the episodes, both episodes of the Fletcher, because we got to see a side of them that we haven't seen yet.
Correct.
Especially with their children. You know, so
the side of them we haven't seen yet. And it's great that we get to see such an affluent family.
yes.
Family that actually considered themselves pillars in the neighborhood. Pillars of the community, not just the neighborhood.
Right.
Because she actually was talking about, let me play another clip. She was talking about when she said she was hurt. She said that at the end of the day, she was embarrassed because of how they were seen in the community. That was like a big thing for her.
Well, it was a lot for me. I couldn't concentrate on my job. I couldn't, for weeks, I couldn't even get out of bed. You thought he would have died.
Oh, wow.
It was just, it hurt me to my soul, to my core. It really took a toll on me. It took a toll on the family. It took a minute for the kids to forgive him. He had to really go through it. He had broken the family, not only trust with me, he broke the family. The kids didn't understand that. I was embarrassed by it. I felt like everybody was looking at me because we were the ones that always had it together. So yeah, it was hard. It was real hard.
Okay.
Poor thing, she just looked like she wanted to break down and just cry.
So it's still an issue for her, even in saying that, when you think about that, like how the family, how everybody looked at them a certain way in that particular community. I know they've talked about North Huntsville quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, if that's where they lived at the time, because they didn't actually give us a time frame for when it happened. So we don't know how old any of the children were. We don't know if they lived in a different area, but they had it together in the same way. Melody talked about their lives, her life with Martell. She said, we were the couple everybody thought that we were the couple everybody wanted to be, is what she said. Everybody wanted to be us. Everybody thought we were beautiful. Right?
Yeah. And they were a good looking family together. But Marshall had to go and ruin it and by having another child outside the marriage.
Right.
Who does that? Why would you do that? And Melody she's a wonderful lady. She got stuff going on, and he's stupid. He probably kicking his stuff in the behind right about now. Because you ain't got your prize no more. She was a blessing to you. And you messed up your blessing, and you don't even have the covering no more that you had when you were with her.
You don't have the covering. And y'all, based on what they said in this very interview, let me go down some, it'll probably give me another commercial. But check this out.
being who they are as men and just doing shit.
No,
And
I have heard that. This is why I'm glad about the honesty. Because even Mel alluded to Martell hanging out with, I'm not gonna name names. Y'all can watch the season. But even Mel has intimated that,
Is it crime?
your friends can sometimes influence you. I'm glad that Chris also is.
So they're going to have a conversation about Martell being influenced by friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's back up again.
Was he crying, Chris?
He was crying because Nell said, "How much can a woman suck?" Okay, she said, as a woman, how much? I don't think so. Oh my God, let me play that too, child. Let's play all of it. Honestly, he was crying because she literally was like, you know, whatever the men's excuses happen to be for stepping outside of the relationship, they are trying to satisfy that instant whatever. And now,
and you can't do that though. You can't satisfy. If you could, that's an addiction that they need to go to therapy for and get some help behind, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna be doing that 24/7.
Ain't got time, okay?
That's no, ain't nobody got time for that, honey. You better be glad if you get some. That's the point.
You just fucking know. Excuse my language, but and you come to find out, hell, Mel sucking dick, she's sucking his. I'm sucking Fletchers. I mean, I just feel like, how much can you suck as a woman?
When she said,
I think
can you
they, at that time, they just get ignorant and stupid.
When she said, "How much can you do as a woman?" I was like, "Whoa!" Is she implying that maybe this man can do more? She made that, and she said something about the girl might have put some things up Martell's butt. It was bad.
Oh my gosh! But at the end of the day, you know what? With that, that's too much. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's a do not enter zone. Keep your stuff up. No, that's just Diana. That's just way too much. And if Martell like that crap, something is wrong with him. He is.
I think Nell wanted to slap and hit and kick however she could. She just at that point
she was going in. I love me some Nell, honey. I love me some Nell. She is one of them women. When I get her age, I hope I'm just like that and tell it how it is, because she was telling it how it is, and wasn't nothing wrong with her saying what she said. I like it.
I'm going to tell you, if you have one of those people in your life, don't give them away. Okay, my grandmama was like that.
Okay.
You're gonna hear it. You may not like it. Okay, you don't have some damn feelings about it for months.
And I do have somebody like that in my life. She gonna tell the truth. She ain't gonna bite her tongue. She's 70-something years old. She's a sweetheart, but she gonna say what she gotta say. Yep. And I'm like, y'all crack me up. Yep. Y'all crack me up.
Yeah, I agree, child. Okay, was there anything else that you saw that you wanted to talk about in regards to the family dynamics with Miss Lexi and the rest of the kiddos?
No, I mean that was basically the show. That was because wasn't nothing else going on that was worth talking about. There was no. Martell and his moving out of the house family.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so you moving at night? Why are you moving at night? Yeah, because it looked like he was moving at night, child. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this at night? And then I was reading on somebody else's page. They said, probably because Martez couldn't be singing in the daylight or something like that.
Child, I'm gonna say the fact that he even tried to throw that out there. We moving at night because that's when everybody can get together. I'm like, not some old ass man. No offense. But anywho, I'm like, they ain't moving at no night. You know how tiring it is? Sure.
But Diana, when are you doing Married to Medicine? the review for that in the live
Married
page.
to Medicine. I was going to either try to drop it today or first thing in the morning because we are like running from the store to cooking. I got to clean my greens still. But yes, we getting it all. We doing a live for Married to Medicine, a live for Potomac. I realized that I said Ashley. I said Ashley instead of Candace, or Candace instead of Ashley.
Yeah, girl, girl, they were correcting you all up in the
So
comments.
I
That
was
was
like,
like,
"Wow, I'm so sorry." You knew what I meant though. Like,
right.
listen. We'll get it together. We'll get it together. I'm trying to bring my sister in on more reviews because people are
I
saying,
love y'all reviews. That is y'all doing the thing. I love. Hey, Clone. Y'all doing the doggone thing, honey. And I love your hat. You're so gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I
You're
appreciate
welcome, honey. Thank
Okay,
you for letting me come up.
thank you. You know, you're always welcome. You're always welcome. Okay, let's see. We got Miss Tanya. Hey, Miss Tanya, what's going on? What's your thoughts on all of
Hey, how
this?
you doing? Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you. You too.
You know I'm on that Android phone. Oh God.
You sound okay.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying not to do an echo, but right now there's no echo. So go ahead.
Oh, okay. We doing good. We doing good. Okay, I love the episode. I give it a 10 across the board.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was paying attention when they came in the door. I think what set Nell off, because she already had a little tension with the kids, was that niece. That niece mouth was real slick.
Okay. The niece smiled
That niece,
when she said,
I
"I want
wanted her to backhand it. Listen, when she was like, "Yeah,
oh,
you do
you're
too
gonna
much."
get it anyway. You're gonna get it anyway." Okay.
Exactly. So I think that set Nell off. And then when she was talking to her little son, all Lexi said was, like basically being on Nell's side, as far as what he be doing, as far as wanting the dog, but don't want to pay her back her money.
Mhm.
And she lost it and said, "Shut the hell up." I was so tickled because I had to I wish I could have rewind at that moment. That was a rewind moment. And yeah, that was hilarious. She was like, "Oh my God." But you can tell that something happened with the father and the mother when she was growing up. When they broke up and he got with Nell, it already and he didn't do it right. It set the tone for how it ends up today.
Mhm.
They didn't talk to her, they didn't make it more easier, transformation for her. And now she just bitter. She got a lot of anger, a lot of hurt, a lot of jealousy. So counseling will be good for them.
Yeah. Clearly, it's much deeper than what we had a chance to
Yeah.
talk about. A
You
little.
can see that it's much deeper. Yeah, you could actually tell watching it is way deeper than what we have a clue. You
Correct.
know?
Correct. And so that's
I,
why I'm
I
saying I
think,
want to give grace because at the end of the day, they all played a part in something. And not to say that Lexi doesn't have any responsibility. She has responsibility too. She's an adult now.
yeah,
She has a husband and
yeah.
children of her own. So she got to get past some of this shit, right?
You got to go to counseling and get she got to heal herself so
Mhm.
she can know how to approach the situation.
Mhm.
But I wanted to say something on the Carlos interview with Nell and Chris.
Mhm.
What I thought about was, if you know how much this has hurt you, the infidelity,
Mhm.
why would you want Melody to speak to somebody that even tried to take her children? Like, I didn't get that. I love Martell, love him, whatever on your own, but connecting Melody with him in any grace. No, he doesn't deserve grace. So no, he don't get a hello when he walk into a room. He doesn't deserve it. So she lost me with that part because it made me think about that.
Mhm.
She,
Mhm.
when she talked about her own hurt and pain, what she went through and her children went through.
Mhm.
So why not have the same grace for Melody? If she don't want to speak to Martell, so be it.
Mhm.
So I thought about, and I felt like Carlos thought she was going to say different things to what she said. The way he was basically wanting her to say in favor of the men, and she didn't do that. She told her truth
Oh,
because
okay.
I felt like, yeah,
Mhm.
if you think about it, Carlos was asking the questions, but he made it more like I think he thought she was going to be back in Martell or back in, Martell and Chris. She
Okay.
didn't do that. So that was something to think about. I said,
Got out what she had to say.
Yeah. Oh yes.
She got
Oh
away
yes. And she
with
didn't
it.
back
She
down.
made sure that she was communicating. Her and Chris had an issue in their marriage. They've been married
Yep.
29 years this year. They'll be married for 30. That's huge. They've gone through some
Big.
things and they've decided to work those things out and they appear happy. When she was talking about her reasons for moving forward with the show, because she said, I was
Yeah.
out. I did not want to be a part of it. Her mother was sick. You know, she had a terminal
Yeah.
illness.
She had went through a lot.
And she said that during that same time, she was still being a friend and counselor to Mel and Martell in their relationship. She said, I would leave our house. My sister would come over. We would go over to Melody and Martell's house so that we can help them through their journey. So at
Yeah.
the time, she's letting people know how strong her relationship was with Melody, because a lot of people have been questioning her.
Well, you know I was, but I'm starting to calm down about it.
Well,
You know, I
think
said maybe she
what
really does love Mel.
I think what she was doing also is because sometimes we see as viewers things as black and white, but you know,
Yeah.
like when I had to look at it the way my grandmother was to people. And sometimes my grandmother would still, you know, engage people for no other reason than to be able to say what she needed to say to them. So sometimes we're like,
True.
shouldn't talk to this person. And sometimes there's that older person who believes it is their born gift or right to tell
That's true.
people how to get through life. And I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are. If you go to them old Baptist churches, you're gonna find somebody who they don't
Oh
give.
yes. Oh yes.
You on your way to the car, you're gonna get this mouth before we get out there.
And
Okay.
let me say something about Martell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he do to his face. He still is gonna look like a rat. He looks like a rat. He looked like he could be related to Stevie J a little bit. You don't think so?
Let me
Look
go
at Martell and Stevie J. When Stevie J makes those ugly faces, him and Martell are brothers. I said, look at this
They
rat.
has the patent on the rat face, so I'm gonna have to go
Yeah,
back and look
yeah.
at Martell's face. But
You
damn,
got to say Martell with the Botox that he had got around the eyes. I
Mhm.
said, this man looked like a damn rat. Why would he go do something about that? The whole thing was crazy, and you know, I'm glad he left the house. Fletcher can finally get a check from it,
Okay.
and yeah. But the show overall, I gave it a 10. Now, when the Scots come back, I'm automatically giving it a 5.
Okay.
Happy holidays. Enjoy yourself, ladies.
Bye. Thank you,
Thank
Tanya.
you.
Okay. Courtney and we lost her. Oh, well, so I put you on mute, Courtney, for 2 seconds because I'm just going to say I'm going to let you talk because I think there is a echo when I speak. So I got a message saying that your phone is Android and they need to fix your problem. So I'm going to unmute you and you can share what you want to share. And I'm not going to talk. Hopefully that stops the echo. Okay. 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 Now. Barely.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do it down because I don't think I have a good connection.
You're good.
You can hear me? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, as far as the Lexi situation, I think on that one, I don't think either party is necessarily wrong, and neither one is, all the way right. Two things can be right in certain instances. But I do feel like I did want to say, and you kind of made this point. That's why I like clicking the link so late because the points were getting made already. You had already made the point of when I'm looking at it, when I'm looking at the show, I'm looking at it as where they are now. I feel like Lexi at this point is 30, and I've said this before. I know she was 16 months when Neil got with Chris. They'll be married 30 years next year, so she has to be at least 30 at this point. Healing her childhood trauma is on her. those things that you are harboring from your childhood, you may never get apologies from people that you expect to get apologies from. You may never hear, I'm sorry. So either you're going to have to decide to create boundaries, and boundaries on both sides is okay. You're going to have to decide, do I want to move forward and create new memories, or do I want to harbor these ill feelings and, X them out my life? And at this, like I said, she's 30 now. I'm not speaking of her as a 13-year-old or 9-year-old, because now she's old enough to make those decisions.
Mhm.
I think when Nell talks, I don't think she has a respect of person. Like, I think she's just raw and loud, and she would have yelled at anybody. Lexi kind of just called it because she was, talking at that moment. But had it been Lance or Kayla, I feel like if they were talking while she was trying to get that money up out of Chris, she would have cussed them out too. Like, shut up,
That's my point. She says whatever, but either way, that's the family. That's all. That's what I was saying. That the family talks to each other like that.
Right. And
Mhm.
so I just think Lexi has to, and I said this when we did that night, we did the actual review after the show. I just feel like Lexi has to get individual counseling. Like I said, just due to her age and her moving forward from that childhood trauma, because she's probably expecting apologies that she might not ever get. And not saying she's not due apologies, but everybody has their own perspective of how things played out. And I did want to make a point of I think when Nell said that Chris, they were separated the 2 years. And then when Chris went to Lexi's car, he was saying, he went through a rough time. And I don't know if the time periods correlate with each other. Like during his divorce, did he go through those 2 years? Did he go through a financial? Because to me, it seems like Nell is more of y'all were talking about the breadwinner. To me, how Nell talks, she seems like she's the breadwinner, or she's been stable a long time.
And
Chris is.
we did
Mhm.
have the housing market drop completely out.
Right,
This means that her check may have been the most stable.
right, right. So, and I think another point, when, as far as the car situation, did Lexi, being that Lexi was in a different household, did she tell them, I'm saving for this car, I want a car, I'm buying a car? Or did she just save the money and purchase a car? Sometimes parents will be like, oh my gosh, that's such an awesome that you had the initiative to go buy a car, and they're thinking like that. And you're thinking like, but why didn't you help me buy a car? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just a lot of things we don't know. Just with the whole story, is holes kind of everywhere, so we're all just kind of assuming what happened. I did ask questions about the mother. I don't blame the mom, because I don't know what she looks like, thinks like, any of that. But was she in a single parent home? Was Lexi raised in a 2-parent home? How often did she come over? How close was she from where they lived to where her mom lived? Certain things play a part in how she could feel. Did she come over there? And that's just like my daughter. Her father has a 2-parent home versus my single parent home. Now I have a nice home and nice things, but I don't have two incomes in my home. So they may be able to afford things that it's just certain things that we don't know yet to shape Lexi's opinion. And I think eventually, hopefully, they'll get it together. Like I said, both of them are valid. I feel both sides are valid at certain points.
Mhm.
And Lexi has to heal her trauma so she can move forward with her family and stop. Also, I did notice, I feel like Lexi kind of alienates herself a lot too. Um,
I'm sure
like,
it's all of that. Yeah.
yeah, so I just, I
Mhm.
feel like they'll, eventually as the story progresses, I hope to see Lexi come back around and they work on mending everything.
Mhm. I agree. You're awesome as always. I appreciate you, Courtney. Okay, let's see. I have. Let me get the name. I apologize. Did Courtney drop? Oh, I'm sorry, Courtney. I don't know if you dropped because you were you fell down or you came back up. Anyway, I have the last one up, and I think that you are also a Android user. It gave me a message when I tried to when I pulled you up. So I'm going to let you unmic and we'll see how your microphone works, okay? I think it's Always Be Cute. Is that
Yes.
your name? Okay.
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Okay,
Everything
I have
good?
my headset on. So,
Okay.
good afternoon, everyone. This was an excellent live panel,
Yeah.
and I want to come in from the concept of when the argument started with Lexi and Nell.
Mm-hmm.
If we all can recall, it was stated when she said, "I saved my money and got my car." They said we didn't know you was buying a car.
Mm-hmm.
That part was
I
stated.
I got a hoopty. Mm-hmm.
And they said we didn't know. That was the purpose of the check. They didn't cause the accident.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say the time frame also of them learning of her purchasing the car and the check.
Mm-hmm.
So she could have gotten what she needed if she said it, but I feel like the problem came in is there was a miscommunication. And the communication started to break down once she learned of the father. And from my this is from my viewpoint. It sounds like there is some communication issues,
Mm-hmm.
totally in this whole matter. And if because I mean I raised three children on my own as a
Mm-hmm.
single parent, and with me having two sons, I purchased a car in means of going in with my son. But the youngest one assumed that I purchased the car myself.
Mm-hmm.
He never looked at that my oldest son always worked, and we both went in together in purchasing his car.
Okay.
So we have to understand there's a miscommunication somewhere in with her not being in the household, because if this miscommunication can take place in my household where all three of mine were, it could happen in separate households where
It,
you're on the outside looking. So, grace can be given on both sides, but I really feel like we are missing this major thing called communication.
yeah.
And we need to stop riding off assumption. And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about Lexi and the Fletchers. Like we
Yeah.
have to stop riding off assumptions and actually sit down and use our words.
Yeah.
And once my youngest one came to me about the car, you bought him a car, you bought him a car, and I'm like, well, that's not true. You seen me offer or give so much of a down payment. You seen me give so much on insurance. You seen that, but you did not see that he worked and gave his part as well. You're missing that concept because you just assumed mama gave you this money because I seen mama go to the bank and I seen mama give you this money. Mama purchased it. No, that's not what happened.
Well, yeah, you're right.
So,
And I
and
think
if that,
part of the storyline for them is that their children they don't see them as what they have to do, what they've sacrificed to bring the money in. You
right,
see them as having the money, and that's them as adults. So there's a lot of correction that needs to happen. And her saying that I'm using this moment to take the my off of mommy. Y'all,
hmm
mom, I'm the person you call and get advice from, like your daddy. I want the same respect. Don't
right.
There's nothing that you have no intention to pay back.
Correct.
That's a lot.
And what I had to do as well, because my sons are 6 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to start speaking to them individually. Do
Mm-hmm.
not compare my relationship with your brother or your sister to my relationship with you, because I don't compare you to them. And once you start taking that part out, now you don't have anything to fight with. Because if you do not come to me and tell me what your needs are, you can't talk about what I did with somebody else, because that conversation with your sister or your brother does not have anything to do with my conversation with you. Because apparently when you was in need, what I am hearing, they still was there. They wasn't there the way you wanted them to be there. Let's look at the baseline of this.
I've said a couple
So,
of times that parents have relationships with their children based on their needs.
mhm,
A child who needs less, the other child may feel you love them more.
more exactly.
Who needs more, they may feel it was more challenging for for you to love them. I said that a couple of times, and I get attacked for that too. At the end of the
No,
day, you are different. Your children are different. You can't raise them the same, and your energy for what you can take from that child is going to be different toward them as well. That's just real life. That's human. That's human. And sometimes I don't know, we don't see it that way, or we love everybody equal. It's not possible. It's not possible
Right.
to love anybody
You
equal.
you have to deal with each child individually.
How you are.
And I had that same issue because the older two always assumed that the youngest was my favorite. And I
Mhm.
was like, no, he just required more of me. You all did not require. I could say, do this. I can, sit down and say, you need help with your homework. And you're like, oh no, I got it. Whereas with him, I had to like basically almost hold a pencil.
Mhm.
So if we just take out, and I want Lexi to take out her animosity for the house, because that's where her problem is. She's looking at the house. It means I will burn this house down. It means I'm going to talk about everything that everybody did that y'all not talking about. But when we sit there and look at this, we have to remember when you start to do that, other fingers are pointing back at you, honey. So let's not do this. Let's go to some counseling, and I introduced counseling to my children because I wanted them to be successful and comfortable adults because my oldest is 30.
Mhm.
And I wanted everyone to be able to function. So whatever I missed, I did an individual counseling session with each one of them. Tell me what's your problem. And he was like, I don't have no problem. I said, no. Is the ass whooping I gave you that you feel like I shouldn't give you? Tell me. And he was like, I needed every one of them.
Okay.
Because now as they get older, they start to understand. But if we don't talk through things, then we are missing major points. And
Mhm.
with everyone yelling, because it was just so funny how the household had a cohesive viewpoint. And
Mhm.
then Lexi over here, like, you didn't do this for me. And I haven't seen you since I was 28. And I'm like, how do you barely come to a wedding? But did you invite your dad and them? Because how are they getting a last minute invitation? But then I want you to come in with the same energy as everyone else. That's not fair. That's
It's
not fair.
it's not. And again, we only saw just a little bit, child. We only saw a little
Hmm.
bit, but it's not. But you can see it's deep. You can see it's real.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, the reason why they were willing to fight each other as hard is because they do want to resolve it.
They
They do
do.
want to love
Hmm.
when you're done with someone, you're done. Okay, you
Yes.
don't even have
Hmm.
energy to give them your voice because I don't care. But she sat there and she was saying what she felt was true
Right.
because she needed them to hear it.
Exactly.
Maybe she didn't have an audience like that before. Maybe she only had maybe Nell, maybe her dad, maybe just one of the siblings. Now she has them all at the table and she's saying what she has to say. And now they get an opportunity to respond. And maybe that will be through therapy to say, we do want all of us to heal and be better and love each other and talk to each other.
Yeah, I just pray that they break down this therapy session. I mean, when I say break it down, it would be great as a family to attend, but also Chris and Lexi,
Mm-hmm.
I hope and pray they attend a session. Nail and Lexi attend, like everyone have their one-on-one, where
Yeah.
now we have other distractions removed, and this you and I now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's really put it on the table and let's really deal with it because it's just it's a I really really see this as truly miscommunication, and the blocking is not going to make it better. That's immaturity. But I understand from her standpoint what she's doing because she's trying to get their attention as much as possible, with her being 9 times 10 she probably the oldest out of all of them, and
Right.
all these little things that triggers that coming into this. And we don't know if mom has children in the household where she probably feel like I didn't get the full attention there. And then I got this household over here, I don't get the full attention over here. So I just really feel like, she's really wanting them to see her, which they see her, but she's not being seen how she wished to be seen. It means I don't want you're not calling me to make sure I'm okay, but they could be. But guess what? I got them blocked. How do I know? How
Okay.
do I not know she's not sending a group text to everyone? Because I do this with my children. I love you. And I mean, it's like they come right back. But if you're not in the text and you're not, if I'm blocked, you don't get your text. So you can't tell me what I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me how I'm going to respond. How about let's put it on the table and let's talk? And so if you want me to respect you as a 30-year-old young adult with a husband and a household. Honey, I need you to walk in this house and respect me as the queen of this household and sit at that table and eat my food respectfully. And if you don't like what's on your plate, baby, push it to the side. And if you have an issue, pull me into another room. But what we're not going to do is, you're not going to sit at this table in that chair with that plate in front of you, with that glass of water, and curse at me. That's what we're not going to do. Because
Listen,
I'm the queen. I'm a queen at this house. Now, when
yeah,
I come to your house, now I got to bow down to your rules.
listen. Everything you said, listen, I know a lot of people agree with and resonate with that. That's what's making this such an amazing show right now. We are getting
Mm-hmm.
real family situations that we all have. And listen, here's another thing we have to keep in mind as well. Um, there is a generation of people that experience the very thing we talking about. You sit at the
Mm-hmm.
table, it didn't matter how old you are, okay? And I ain't even BSing. I remember one time, because my uncle was grown, correct?
Yeah.
And he said something my grandmother says, he talked back, said some, my grandmother did not like. I remember her picking up a broom handle, and that was all he wrote, okay? Sometimes
Trust me, I'm
you
from Mississippi. I agree with you. My
listen,
sister was
this is
21 years old, married, and
right.
my mom, she told my mom she was a lie in our house. When I tell you, my mom, I don't know how she got a cape, how did she fly? But all I can tell you is I heard my sister head said bloop bloop when my mom hit her one good time, and
That's
she guess what my sister said?
that's
I'm getting my stuff and I'm going home. That's it.
listen, that's a different generation because there's a younger generation beneath us that don't do that. They don't believe
Hmm.
in that. They don't think that way. They demand different. They demand that we engage them different, and that's exactly what I'm saying. We got generations here that are different. We got households that are different. Um,
Hmm.
what happened in Lexi's household, the one that she lived in Monday through Sunday, may have been completely different from what she experienced when she went to her dad's house. So it's
Correct.
a lot of things, and us as viewers are going to learn something new too. If we get an opportunity as a viewer to watch the therapy, to get some
Hmm.
tidbits back from whatever, we're going to be learning as well because we
Yes,
don't talk about this. That's one of the things
exactly.
at the very beginning. We get to see a real family dynamic that a lot of us know, but we've never seen on television before. So this is all going to be fantastic. They win with this one. Love and Marriage Huntsville wins again with this particular situation. Melody's situation was real. So we get to see how this plays out. So I'm
Yes,
happy for
I
them
agree.
in the sense that,
And then another thing,
yes,
I really hope that Nail and Lex can heal what
sure.
is there. I really, really hope and pray about that. But I'm like this. When I went through my therapy session with each one of my children, I said,
Mhm,
any problem you have with me now is your damn problem. They ain't none of mine.
mhm.
It ain't mine. But when Nail was trying to tell Mel about speaking to Martell, what I like about Nail, if she right, wrong, or indifferent, she said, but she also respects and understands that Mel would tell her, that's what you do over there. That ain't what I do. So let's take that off of her because we have mature women in the community that always say, girls, talk to that baby daddy. It's all right. And he just whooped my tail last night or whatever, just there was a disagreement last night. But then you hear the mature lady in the community telling you to talk. She's just talking. Let her talk. She's just telling you from her viewpoint how she would do something. That don't mean that you got to do it.
Right.
And she said that. That's what I love about her relationship with Mel. Because now what Mel is doing is educating her on now.
Yeah.
That's what you did back then.
It was a
You
very,
stayed. I'm not staying. And she said this.
yep.
So that means that she heard Mel. So no, she respects Mel enough to be herself. She is not beating Mel head over and over saying you got to talk to them. That's not what she said. But it is nothing wrong with speaking. Me, I probably would have spoke and let him see these days of do that remind him, you can't touch this.
Right.
You would not get a chance to bother me because we could see immediately it bothered her. But you would not be, baby, by the time I finished sashaying around that backyard and having every eye drop and he couldn't touch and walked on up out of there and said, I'm going to go and call my other boo thing.
Was
But that's why he's mad. I'm going to tell you now, if you all look at Martell's personality now with this whole thing with um, the young lady, he has seen these episodes already. And he knows that Mel is not studying him. That's it.
That's it. Let's listen real quick to them talk about Melody and Martell meeting at their house when she threw the glass.
That was it. Yes, I love that.
It's what you sit your wine in. It was the decor
Just a play.
for the wine holder, but it's for backyard. So it was like metal, and we had ice sitting down in it. She picked that whole thing up and swung it at him. We always trying to get out the way. So yeah. She actually clocked out for real. Like seriously. She left here. She like literally left here. So he didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. Fletcher didn't see it coming.
No.
And if I hadn't, I think you grabbed her and I kind of pushed him.
Yeah.
She almost took his damn head off. Yeah, that's seriously.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Well, I'm glad you decided to continue.
So I only played that to say we were watching real situations with them. We were watching a real situation. Martell making that's you weren't satisfying me. So and for Nell to be like, listen, that was our real damn crystal. That was crystal. That wasn't plastic. And she didn't just pick up the ice bucket. She picked up the stand that was holding the ice bucket and tried to take him out with that. So and she was on camera. So again, just letting people know we're not robots. We're not robots.
Exactly.
Things happen. But we're watching and we understand that these people, they're moving through their life. They're trying to figure things out in front of the television, in front of a camera. We're talking about it. I like Nell and her husband because I think that they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're strong enough to not be moved by comments. You know what I'm saying? Or other people's opinions. I think that they are where they are and they're totally okay. Whereas some people, they get into them comment section and they will, things change for them. I hate that. But stay out the comments until you know that you are where you need to be. But anyway, you guys, I'm happy that y'all.
Miss Diana, could I say this real quick about Chris though?
Yeah.
Chris is fine.
Chris
Chris looking good these days. The biceps and stuff, child.
Yeah, listen. Nell said, I think Carlos was like, everybody's been talking about Lance. Somebody came up and said Lance can get it. One of y'all came up on the panel and said Lance can get it. I was like, oh shit, why is this happening? But she was like, yeah, they talk about them, and then Carlos was like, I think they talk about little Chris. She went, little Chris and big Chris. I done heard all of it. She was like, at the end of the day, they always making comments. So they know they're an attractive family. They really are. Everybody, Lexi's a beautiful girl as well. They're all really attractive people. But anyways, you guys, I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all had an opportunity to get everything that you wanted out, either in the chat or you came up on the panel to talk. If not, y'all could drop it right on into the comments. Hopefully you learned something new, or whatever's going on. I enjoy these panels. I love talking to y'all. This is exactly why I do YouTube, so that I can get different perspectives on things, because you grow up in your own little bubble. You don't always get to hear everybody else's perspective. So I enjoy it. I love it. Thank you guys for coming up and talking with me today. Everybody who joined the panel. Thank you to everyone who donated to the channel. Thank you to my mods, of course, for coming in and helping this afternoon. I know we are close to Thanksgiving and we got stuff to do. Okay, we got a whole lot of food to cook, a whole lot of stuff going on. My sister Clone, she is actually here with me, enjoying and we're getting stuff together, but we will do Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to go live for that too. Oh, she made a thing called Clone in the House. If you have not watched our review, please join. So she's on with us apparently in the chat. Okay, Clone in the House is what she goes by. All right, y'all. I love y'all as always. Thank y'all for joining us today. Please hit that like, subscribe, the notification bell. Talk to me in the chat. Share the video. And I will check you all on the next one. Okay? Bye-bye.